Okay, I'm back. I had to go to a different platform because my OBS was not working. And I'm getting weird clicking noise. What is happening? I don't know what that is. Okay. Hey guys, so I was going to do a Q&A today, so if anybody wants to hop on and ask me a question, I am willing to answer as many as I can. I just wanted to have a hangout day and talk to you guys and see how everybody was doing. It's been a crazy week over here. It's been spring break, so anybody wants to come talk to me, I am here and I will answer any of your questions. Ask me what you want. I am glad to do so. Did you guys do anything for spring break? Do anything fun? I know COVID's still going on, so it's kind of hard to get out of the house sometimes, but I thought about going places, but my week got really busy, so I ended up just staying home. Plus, when you're a mom, it's hard to just go some places because you have to take half your house with you when you leave. Is it on? Not streaming. That's what I wanted. I am here. So if you guys have any questions for me, I will answer them, or we can just hang out today. It's kind of a laid-back day for me. Hi, Holy Space Jerks! Thank you! I love doing them. They make me happy. I think this is something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I just thought I needed to wait. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm sorry about your loss. I'm really sorry. I'm glad I'm one of your favorites, though. I'm trying. It is hard when you have a life to do YouTube. I understand why people do this for a living instead of having a job, because when you have a job and kids and a house and everything else, it's hard work. It takes me days to get this stuff done, but I love doing it. Thank you. Nice. I like your channel too. It's really fun. It makes me laugh. So the animation software that I use is called Mango. It's supposed to be for like companies and stuff to make, I guess, just animations to train people and stuff, but it was a cheap version, and as someone who doesn't have a lot of money, I needed the cheap version. So I got the cheap version of that. And then I have not. I looked at Animaker, but I feel like it costs a lot more, so I ended up just getting Mango. Because if you get like the simple Mango, there's a free version, and it has like their little watermark on it. But if you just pay the $67, you get it forever. And yeah, you get like the basic stuff. The professional one is like $200, but I just got the cheap one, and it works fine. I get like 10 characters, and I mean, you can put anything you want in it. You can go online and find pictures and stuff too and put in it. So that's always nice that you can just add all that stuff. So that's what I ended up doing. And then I have just OpenShot for editing at the end, because I got to put it all together and do my intro and my outro and all that. So yeah, but Mango it works great for me. So, and as someone who like didn't know what she was doing when she started, I feel like that was the best option. I did look into so Holy Kool-Aid is the one who like inspired me to do the animation stuff, and he uses Vyond software. But it's like $50 a month, and I can't do that. Nice. Believe in atheism. Well, I don't believe in atheism. It's not really a belief. It's more of I looked into the claims of the Bible, and when I was looking into the claims of the Bible, I realized that everything I had been taught in the church, there was no evidence for it. Like, I had always been taught that, the Bible lined up with science, and it lined up with archaeology, and they had found all this information that proves that these things in the Bible had happened. But yeah, no, when I actually looked into it and read more academic books, I realized that the evidence that I was presented in church is not evidence. That Christianity is a religion of faith, and you have to take it on faith. And when I figured out that that is what most of the people in the church do, I realized that there's no reason to believe it, because if Christians can believe that faith makes their religion right, so can anyone else. Any other religion relies on faith. They all just rely on what they're told, and they don't have anything to back it up with evidence. And I think for me, just seeing, how things are more natural and the natural world exists and how we have evidence of how the natural world came into being made me lean more towards atheism. I'm not saying there isn't a God. I don't know. But from what I have seen, there's no evidence that there is a God. And until people show me sufficient evidence, I lean more towards atheism and the fact that this world is natural, and a lot of the things that we thought were supernatural really were just natural things that we did not understand. So that's kind of my story. Yeah, I did a whole video on why I left the church. If you want to go on my YouTube channel, there's a video I made. But yeah, I just don't, there's no evidence for me. And it's one of those things that like they said, it's like a magic trick. Once you see how it was like the Bible was created and all the things that go with that and how they don't know who the authors are and things like that, it made sense to me to not believe in anything without evidence. So that's where I am today. I do not know that name. Oh, he's a preacher. I do not know that preacher. You have to have evidence for anything. You can't just say something exists. I mean, I can say unicorns exist. I don't have to have evidence for my claim, because from what I've seen, from the evidence I have seen and the evidence that I know, there's no evidence that any of the gods in the past ever existed. And I have studied more than just one. I haven't just studied Christianity. Like, I have grown up, which is hilarious because I grew up like reading about different religions all my life because I love like studying religion and history. Those are like my two main things. And it's crazy to me that my whole life I was studying all these other religions and being like, oh yeah, there's no evidence for the religion, and a lot of the things that they teach in their churches like don't line up with reality. But I never had that, just click in my mind about Christianity until I was older. Yeah, deist. So I have some friends that are deists where they believe there's a God, but a lot of them believe that it's a God that does not intervene in our world. Like, they just made the planet and then stepped back. I'm all for questions, guys, but I'm not going to let people come on right now. This is my first live, and I would really like to just answer questions that people have. I am not a debater and I do not want to debate. I just want to answer questions. So if you don't want me to just answer questions, then you don't have to be here. Like, I'm trying my best here, and this is my first live, and I want it to go well. And I don't want to be into any fights or anything with people. Like, I want this to be good. And questions are fine, but I'm not going to let people in. I need more time to do that. But I'm doing my best here. If I don't understand your question, I'm very sorry, and I will try my best to answer. I don't need proof that there's a God from my standpoint, because from what I have seen, there is no evidence. Like, just because I don't have, I mean, I'm not claiming there's not a God. I'm just claiming that from the evidence that I have read and seen and looked at, that there's nothing that backs up the religions in the world that I have looked at. I have looked at evolution. I actually have a video on evolution if you guys want to go check it out, and how the Christian church twists it to make it sound like it's false, but we really have evidence to back it up. That was one of the main reasons I came out of the church too, is because I was always told that evolution had no evidence. It didn't have anything to back it up. Oh, I love feeling free. It's amazing. I love it all. I will think about it, evolution false. I am still new and I am trying my best here. Yeah, I would have to think about that. I don't need to prove God is real, because my only line of evidence is that I have no evidence that God exists. You can't prove something that's based on faith. Actually, when it comes to swearing, yeah, I actually swear a lot more. I am a little bit more reserved, but I'm very much more open to swearing, and some of the things that I was taught growing up, where you don't, curse God or Jesus or anything like that, kind of went out the window when I didn't believe in it anymore. Like, I'm okay with doing that now, and I don't have any problem with it, because to me, it's all just man-made stuff, and everybody has their own beliefs and things, but to me, it's just, it doesn't matter. Like, you're allowed to swear. It doesn't really matter to me at all. I think a lot of that has to do too with growing up in the church. Like, they make that sound like it's like the most horrible thing in the world if you say a bad word, and it's just like, why? why do you care? Like, you're saved. That was always something that I struggled with, was everyone saying they were saved and that they had to follow God's laws. But if you're saved, then what's the point of following the law? Because Darwin's greatest hits. Yeah, it's crazy that they make such a big deal out of things that I feel like there's no reason to have a big deal about it, you know? Okay. I don't think it matters that I was invited. I just am not ready to go onto other people's channels yet. I am still starting out, and I would really like to just do my own thing first. But maybe in the future. Oh no. I have heard of him. And now I don't think I want anything. Okay. I get it. I understand. Thanks, Jack. I've heard of him. I have not actually seen any of his stuff, but I've heard about him in the atheist community, so. Yes, I will definitely keep my guard up when it comes to that stuff. Especially right now, just being out. I mean, I've been out of the church for 4 years, but I'm still learning, and I'm still, like, I want to be, you know, I want to have the correct knowledge before I go and debate people, you know? Oh, I love Aaron. He's cool. I watched his whole, like, series on why Noah's Ark wasn't, true. I really liked that series. He's amazing. I love watching all of his series. And the Unholy Trinity. That was a really good one, too. Yeah, you can't go on someone's show if they're not going to defend themselves. That's just... Well, the evolution that I know is changes over time slowly. So, like, you know, things start out and then they slowly change over time. But you don't really see those changes unless you're there. You know, like, they go, it's a long process. It's not just overnight or something like turns into something else. It's, you know, they adapt and they turn things. One thing can turn into something else slowly, but there's also the whole, like, they change. When they change over time, you're not gonna be able to see that because we're people and we don't live forever. I mean, if we had lived millions of years, like, we could go back and see, like, our ancestors that were part of the great apes who slowly evolved over time into what we are today, which is humans, and we're still part of that species of ape, but we've changed over time. We've, you know, gotten smarter, and we've been able to learn our own languages and things like that. And we've seen in nature that even animals, other animals, have changed over time, and they have, you know, empathy and stuff too that people claim they don't have. Especially in the Christian community, I feel like that's a big one. It's like animals are just animals. They just fight and do whatever they can to survive. But I have definitely seen a lot of changes over time just by reading about evolution and seeing how they come from, you know, these single-celled creatures all the way up to where we are now. So I guess for me, evolution is just little changes over time. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've figured out. If you want more information on evolution, a really great one that me and my husband have watched together, because neither of us knew about evolution, is Stated Clearly. He is amazing at just like telling you how evolution has happened over time. What do you think? I do not know Infidel Noodle. Is he a popular one? I know a lot of popular ones, but I don't know him. Google. No, ex-Muslim. Self-affirmation theory? I have not heard that. Oh, I'm so glad Zara's free. When I heard that story, it broke my heart. I really, I wanted to jump on the bandwagon and find a way to get her out of there. And I'm really glad that she's free now, because I was so scared for her for a while. I didn't know if she was going to make it out of there. Yeah, it's scary. I don't understand. I guess living in America, I'm very, I don't know, not ignorant, but I don't understand people locking other people up because of religion. And when I heard her story, it touched my heart, because I was just like, I don't get why anyone would be okay with that. We have free will over here, and or freedom. I guess we have more freedom in America, because I know in other countries, you don't follow a certain faith, they will kill you. And I can't wrap my head around that, because I just feel like everyone should just live their lives the way they want. It doesn't matter. But yeah, her story really, it got to me. Yeah, I'll have to look that up later. It's scary to me too, because when I was growing up in the church, they always talked about, Christians getting killed by Muslims just for being Christians, and they would behead them and stuff because Muslims don't like Christians. And it was always so sad to me, these people had lost their lives just for believing something that other people didn't believe, and they wanted people to believe what they wanted to believe. The evolution one's called Stated Clearly on YouTube. I think the guy's first name's John. I can't remember his last name. I believe that he was raised in the Mormon Church, and now he's a scientist. But yeah, he does little videos on how evolution works and how the changes over time work, and it's really good. It's good for anyone who did not learn evolution, because my husband and me were both in private school, and we never heard that stuff. I mean, I was told the Bible was true, and that there was an Adam and Eve, and that God created everything. So going on his channel and like actually learning, good evolution and like what they actually teach you in like public school and how things change over time. It's really good. I definitely recommend it for anyone who hasn't been taught that, and people who have been taught and just need a refresher, because I think that's a great place for anyone to start if they want to learn evolution. And I'm not great at that stuff. I'm still learning too. I'm in the beginning phases of all that, which is weird. Like, I've been out of the church for 4 years, but it feels like I'm still a baby when it comes to, actual science, because I wasn't taught actual science growing up. So, but I love to learn it now. Yeah, that sounds great. Space Jerks, you can do that. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, it's crazy the things that you don't learn when you're stuck in a bubble. I mean, my mom pulled me out of first grade in public school because she went to like a creationist thing. It might have even have been a Ken Ham creationist thing. I don't know, but it sure sounds very Ken Hammy. And she came home one day, and I had to walk to and from school when I was like 6 years old. I came home one day and she's like, "You're never going back. Like, you're done." And it was sad because like all my friends were there, but like she had been told that if I stayed in public school, they would brainwash me to believe evolution. So I needed to stay out of public school. And I did. I've done a lot of actual studies of like the background of Christianity, where like they had the different like the 4 different priesthoods that like wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, and how they took things out and put things in to like make it more like their religion or what they believed, and how it leaned towards what they believed, and they took out the things that they didn't believe. It's very interesting to me that like if you look at the Bible, there's a lot of spots where it's like it talks about more than one God. And it's like we made man and stuff, and it was because there was an actual at one time there was an actual councils of God, and there was like a head god, which I believe was El, and then El had a son, and then there was also the wife, which was Asherah, and there was a whole council of gods that they believed in, and you can tell over time like how things changed and how it went from a polytheistic religion to a monotheistic religion, where they just ended up putting all the gods into one. It's super interesting, and I love that stuff because I love history and I love religion, so those 2 things mixed are just amazing to me. I was told that that dinosaur bones, that God put them there to make the world look old. That's what I was always told. That it wasn't like God wasn't tricking us, like he was just making the world look older than it actually was. And that's why, it may be 6,000 years old, but it looks like it's 4 million years old or whatever Christians say. So that's what I was taught when it came to just religion in general and like the Christian faith, is that God just made things look older than they really were. And that kind of goes along with their whole story of like Adam and Eve, because Adam and Eve weren't ever babies. Like they were adults that never grew up. Like they were adults. So everything around them was aged. Oh, Kent Hovind. Man, I can't watch any of those people anymore. I mean, I do, but I have a very different reaction than I did as a Christian. Just the logic that they use. And the fact that, like, I always question whether they actually believe what they're saying or if they are simply just doing it because they can make money off of it. It's so hard to tell. Like, I don't know. I really want, I don't know. It's hard because, like, I see people that are still my friends, like, they cling to, like, Ken Ham and Lee Strobel and people like that, and those people are just out to make a buck. And I get that. Like, I totally understand. I've told when I first left the church, I was like, I told my husband, I'm like, man, if I did not have a conscience, like, I would totally go out and write a Christian book because we could be millionaires. But at the end of the day, it's not worth tricking a bunch of people. It's just, it's horrible. And the freedom you get from being outside the church is more than anyone can understand until they've actually stepped outside that bubble. And just making up evidence in order to make people stay within the church. It's just, it's mind-blowing to me. I don't know how people can do that. It's kind of sad. I wish more people would, stop tricking people just so they can make a buck. But I also understand that, people want to make a buck. Like, that's what makes the world go around right now. So, but it is really sad. Yeah, when I first started researching Christianity, I bought Lee Strobel's, like, his first 3 books. And I, like, wrote down all this information and all this evidence I thought that he had in them. And I still have those books, but definitely have a different idea about them now than I did then. Because once you read academics and realize, like, a lot of the stuff he says is just not, it's not true, or it's just, things people twist to make it look like evidence when it's really not. But the first book I read, the very first book I read when I came out of the church was Seth Andrews' Deconverted. And I think anyone who leaves the church, that is a must read because it is an eye-opener to, living and growing up in the church and realizing, like, what you were taught is very contradictory to the world we live in. I thought that was a really good book. My other favorite book that I read was Godless by Dan Barker. He was really good. Yeah, go back and read all those. I have thought about doing that, but life gets busy sometimes and you don't always have the time to actually sit down and read a book. Does anybody else have any other questions? I'm here for questions, or we can just chat. Oh, I love Bart Ehrman. He was a big part of me leaving too. I have some of his books. A lot of things that I read, though, I got from the library because we have a really good library system where I live. So I got a lot of those books and read them. It's interesting to deep dive into like how the Bible was written and how people, you know, see different things differently, and how a lot of like the writings of Paul and stuff like that, they don't think are actually Paul, that it was just people putting his name on there and claiming they were Paul when they really weren't. Yeah, I loved reading about all of that and just learning about it. And I don't know, I think figuring things out for myself really made me become the person I am today. Because if I hadn't questioned things and I hadn't, looked into those things, I would still believe that, the Bible was 100% accurate and there were no contradictions. But I love knowing the history of the Bible and how it was created and how the different authors use different, tactics and things to get their point across. And it makes the Bible like way more interesting when you can see it from the outside and you can see like where they were going with certain things and just the history of it all. It fascinates me, and it makes the Bible make so much more sense, because when I was in the church, there were things in the Bible that just, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this in here? But now that I know where it all came from and I have the history of that and stuff, I understand it a lot more, and it actually makes life much more easier, and it's much easier to understand the Bible from what I have seen. But yeah, if anybody has any more questions, like I said, today's just kind of a hangout. I got the house to myself, so I figured I'd chill with some people online. It's harder when my kids are home because they like to be loud. They're kids, they do that. And it's hard to drown out sound in a house sometimes. I don't really have a great studio. It's kind of a corner of a room in my house right now. So, I gotta do what I gotta do. Yeah, I think that's kind of a big reason why I do what I do, is because I see these people who, like, I have so many friends and family that are so freaking smart. Like, some of them are like Mensa smart, like, but for some reason they cannot disconnect that the Bible is not reality. Like, they use their smarts to like twist it to make the Bible seem like it is reality. It's just so weird to me. Yeah, and I think that is a huge motivation for me, because as someone who believed it, I really honestly thought this was what life was about. Like, I was here to please God, and when I die, I'm going to go to heaven and be with all my friends and my family and get to see God and Jesus who saved me. And now it's like people are wasting their lives on things that don't matter. And I feel like that's a huge motivation for me too, is because it's like, I don't want people to waste their lives on something that's not real. Because to me, it's sad. It's just sad because their whole lives are focused on this one thing. And if your whole life is focused on this one thing that ends up not being true. Like, you have wasted your entire life on chasing something that's not there. And I just, I don't know, it's really hard for me. And I really want to see more people come out of the church because of that. I think it's harder too when it's like family that you see every week and they're always talking about, you know, God did this in my life or God did that in this person's life. And it's like, you know, there are other factors that factor into the stories that people don't look at, and they don't see it as, you know, God. They see it as, you know, reality. Thanks, Helen. Yeah, I do love to make my videos, and I feel like this is something I could do for a long time. And especially being like a mom and a wife, you know, I don't really know what I want to do in my future, and I think this YouTube thing is actually great for me because I can, you know, tell people what I think and how I feel and do it through, you know, the animation style that I like to do it through. And as my kids get older and they're not going to need me around as much, like, I need something. Thank you. Yeah, I need something, I don't know, to do with my life. Like my day job, I clean a church as my day job. But when I'm not cleaning the church, like, I'm also a mom and a wife. So I think doing this is great because, one, I'm my own boss, so I can decide when I can do it, and you know, when I have time, I can do it, and I can work it around my schedule as a mom and as a wife, and, you know, not have to go work 8 hours at a job and not be able to, like, I don't know, do the passion that I have. Yeah, I think this is something that I really want to keep doing, and yeah, I just have a passion for it. It's hard to explain when you have a passion for something and you love doing what you do. It really changes your outlook on work, I feel like. Because in the past I have only worked in like fast food. Yeah, so I was like a manager in fast food since college. I've been a manager in fast food, and it's not something I want to go back to. But yeah, like, I think this is given me an opportunity to do something I love to do, and meeting so many people, and just, I have talked to people from all over the world, and it's amazing their stories of coming out of the church and just, you know, having someone to rely on, and me having people to talk to, because especially with COVID going on, like, I don't get out of the house. I don't get to go see other people. And so doing this is definitely something I can see doing for a long time. And I really hope I do, because it is something that I can do. And it's work that I enjoy. It's not, you know, go to a job 8 hours a day and be bored out of my mind. Like, this is something I want to do. And I'm going to keep pursuing it as long as I can. So hopefully I can do it for a while. All right. Next question. Oh, Trumpers. I have to say, back when I was a Christian, I was a Trumper, so I totally understand where their mindset is coming from, because when I was a Christian and believed that, like, Trump was God's gift to the world, I was very, I don't know, like, I thought he was going to change things and make everything better and make Christianity better, and yeah, now that I'm outside of it, I just see, like, he's a crazy old guy who does not, like, no, I can't. And I was a Trumper. I was in 2016 because I was still a Christian, and I was very like, no Hillary Clinton. She's terrible, and we need Trump to save Christianity. And yeah, I was crazy, but I'm glad I'm not crazy anymore because I don't know, I see the bad that he did, and I see how instead of progressing as a nation, we have fallen back way farther than we should have. And I think it really frustrates me that I was like that. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, we need Christian nationalism. We need people to stand up and, everything needs to be Christian all the time. And now I'm the opposite. I'm just like, we need to go the other direction because we are hurting way too many people. And this is not okay. And we're hurting our own reputation in the world. We're supposed to be, I don't know. I feel like America needs to be more progressive and, show people that, people can have freedom and everyone can live their lives. And I think we need to be, I guess, like a light to the world of progressiveness, not conservativeness, because it's not helping us at all. And it's tearing our nation apart, which is really scary, and I don't like it. So, but yeah, I'm really glad that we have a different president now. That is all I have to say. And I hope in 4 years that we can. Oh yes, I am very familiar with that. I actually posted a link to support Telltale and his daughter because apparently they're like needing to move out of the state they're in because it's so bad. I should probably put that link on there. If you want to donate, there's a GoFundMe to help them move because it's getting really bad right now. And they've got to get out of where they are right now because of it. I'll have to find that link because it's really important. I just linky link. It's on my profile. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Here we go. Oh, yeah. I'm going to post the link in the chat. I think that's the right one. Yeah, anybody who's watching, if you've watched Telltale Atheists, he is having a really hard time right now. His family really needs to get out of the state they are in because the Christians are persecuting him real bad. So if you want to go donate to him on PayPal, I have the link in my on my Twitter. If you go to my Twitter, you can get it. But yeah, they need to move. It's just they're in a really bad situation right now. And I think we all need to help out people in our community, especially because it's not fair to them that they're being persecuted just because, they stood up and did what was right. And it's really frustrating. But if you have extra money right now, which I know is hard with COVID and people losing their jobs and stuff, but definitely go donate to that because their lives are in danger. So they need that as much as anyone. I don't know what else to say, but I just, I think they need all the support they can get. And Yeah, I donated it, and I want everyone to know who is in the atheist community. If you can help them, please do, because they need it desperately right now. I would hate for anything to happen to him and his family just because they don't believe in God. Like, that is horrible, and no one should have to live like that. But yeah, it's definitely a scary time. I'm really glad that I live in a state where I can be atheist and nobody really cares. Us Pacific Northwesterners, we are very chill about things like that. So if you guys have not heard, I did make an announcement at the beginning, but April 3rd, we are going to have a Purity Culture Roundtable at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I got 5 other ladies who are going to come on and just talk about growing up in purity culture and how it's changed them and, you know, what it did growing up in it. I know I came from that background, and it's very, I don't know, it's very brainwashing. I think it's a hard thing to grow up in, and it definitely traumatizes you in ways that you don't think about until you're older. So purity culture, it's basically a culture which says that, you know, women, we're like the issue. Like, our bodies cause men to lust and sin after us, so we are responsible for we're responsible for guys and for the way they think, because lustful thoughts is a sin in Christianity. So, you know, we can't, it's really hard to explain, but, you know, me growing up, I wasn't allowed to wear shorts that didn't go down to my knees. I wasn't allowed to wear swimsuits without a t-shirt over it. I wasn't allowed to wear spaghetti straps, you know, anything that would cause a man to sexually fantasize about you, which is ridiculous because it's just dumb. And they blame the victim. But yeah, we're going to talk to some women who actually grew up in that. And I think that's a big motivator for me to do this too, is because I grew up in that, and it has definitely affected my life and my marriage, and it's frustrating, and I think more people need to talk about it. And I feel like a lot of people my age who grew up in like 90s, early 2000s, like, it was a huge thing in a lot of the like mainstream churches. And I mean, they had books and movies and all kinds of things come out that we were told to read and look at and stuff because they wanted us to be pure. But yeah, I feel like that's going to be a good one. And I have more people that want to do it too. So if this one goes well, hopefully we can do maybe a second or a third. I will do as many as people want, because that's a big problem in the church, and I think we really need to talk about it and discuss it, and, you know, tell people what needs to change. Yeah. Yes, people that are listening to me, if anybody wants anything, I have a Teespring store. It's Teespring stores. It's Teespring/stores/overprotected atheist. And I got some stuff over there if you guys want to support me. I guess I could write it in the chat. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm not great at the live streaming or like having my face on camera. I very much prefer the, you know, write a script, do the animation stuff. But I feel like if this is something I'm going to do, then I'm going to have to start, I don't know, being on here more. And I don't know. I will try my best, but I'll do what I need to do. And I like being on here. It's weird because I don't like seeing my face and talking and stuff, but at the same time, like, I love talking to, all the people I've met from Twitter and Instagram and stuff, and people who just want to, chat. I mean, I've spent half my life chatting with people sometimes because they want to just talk about, leaving the church and how they might feel alone in the situation. So I really enjoy that, just having connection. Adobe. I have not used Adobe. I use Open. For my editing, I use OpenShot, and then I use for like all my videos and pictures and stuff, I just go on the free sites on the internet, like Pixabay and Pexels. Trying to think, but no, I haven't used Adobe. My editing software is OpenShot, which is like it's a free editing software that you can get online. My husband is a computer engineer, so he knows where to get all the free stuff. So it's nice to have that sometimes. Yeah, I haven't used Adobe, so I don't know. I don't know how to use it. But yeah, if anybody else wants to know, the softwares I use for my editing, I use OpenShot, which is just a free editor that's online. And then for my sound, I use Audacity, which is also a free one that's online, that you can just record, whatever you want. And then you can go in and fix the audio, which I definitely need because my house is loud. And my animation maker that I use is called Mango Animation. It's also online. They have a free version where you can just download it for free. If you use the free version, it has a little watermark up in the corner that says Mango. But if you want, if you don't want the watermark, you can pay like $67 and you get like a lot of the stuff you need. I think you get like 10 characters or whatever. If you want the full version, it's like $200, but I don't really need the full version because I can just figure out how to make things without it. And you can also bring in like pictures and stuff of your own in that software. Like they have an ad image and an ad video and stuff. So you can just go online and get that kind of stuff at like Pixabay or Pexels, pixabay.com or pexels.com or even the Creative Commons. There's like Creative Commons online where it's a bunch of pictures and stuff that you can use. You just have to make sure like it's like something you can use commercially, and because some of them are not commercial, you don't want to get in trouble with the licensing and all that. But yeah, I just find the free ones and use those. I'm a very thrifty person, so especially with having a family, I can't spend a lot of money on making my videos, so I gotta be as thrifty as I can. But I think the most money I've spent for like all my video making was like I got a new computer, a new laptop, and then I bought a Yeti mic, and that was pretty much my investment for my I just lost my train of thought. My investment for my, this job that I have. But yeah. I don't know if I'm still online because it's saying my internet's not working. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I don't know what's happening. My internet's not working though. It's going to be hard to talk to people. Oh, it's okay. So apparently my internet has decided to cut out on me. Oh, the joys of live streaming. Well, I guess since I'm having internet problems, I might just check out. Is it working? Okay. Hello? Trying, but it's just... Okay. Well, my internet seems to have not been working, so I'm gonna call it a day then, I guess. Thanks everyone who came on and asked questions. I really enjoyed that, and I hope I can do more of these hangouts again another time. So thanks everyone who came, and I'll see you next time. Bye.